did he take the job with the sense that he needed to rehabilitate Russell Wilson? How do you think he is approaching this season with Russ, Seth?
Well, I think he's invested in Russ being successful. And, I know that his comments to USA Today a month ago or so got a lot of attention, but it's clear that he thought that there was offensive malpractice that occurred with Russell Wilson. And he, wants to find ways to build an offense around Russell that give him the best chance to do what he does well. And I think that he wants him coming to the line quickly, getting the ball into his hands and making quick decisions. I think that last year you saw a lot of indecision on Russell Wilson, which was really atypical for most of his career. And I think that one of the things that Sean Payton has really tried to do is to get them to the line quickly. I think that last year, the Broncos, I think only 3 teams had more pre-snap penalties last year than the Broncos. He wants Russell Wilson getting to the line, diagnosing the defense, and snapping the ball. And that's one of the reasons why Payton has spent so much time this offseason and will spend so much time this year, not drawing up these elaborate plays, but trying to find ways to decode the defense before the snap to make things quicker and easier for Wilson.
Well, I know he mentioned it was malpractice on the part of Nathaniel Hackett in operating or having the operational manual all whacked for Russell Wilson. But, Russ had a part to play in that. And also the complete lack of control on a player who had run of the place in a way that few players want to have run of the place or get to have run of the place. Walk me through what Sean Payton had to say to you on that front. There's a soundbite that or a quote that really is making the rounds today.
Yeah.
Seth.
Well, he told me that early on he told Wilson, look, we got to back off Russell Inc. a little bit. And he said, can you stop effing kissing the babies? You're not running for public office. And, look, it's a classic Sean Payton thing. It's a message delivered through humor. You can hear a lot of Bill Parcells in there too.
Yeah.
But he likes Russell Wilson. And I think that he thinks that, look, the team, and I think that it was not just Russell, but everybody got a little too excited about Russell Wilson last year. And from a franchise point of view, you can understand it. I mean, they had gone so long without a franchise quarterback that when they finally got one and they gave him that contract, they wanted to be excited and they wanted the fans to be excited. But all of this stuff, completely backfired. And I think that, one of the things that Sean Payton wanted Russell Wilson to do is to get off social media as much. You don't need to give people fodder out there. And we all remember last year that Wilson, he got mocked on a level that we've rarely seen for a superstar athlete in the social media era. It's continued into this year. The Arizona Cardinals, after a preseason game, made fun of him on their social media account. It's like this accepted practice to put Russell in his place. And so I think that Payton didn't want to give the opponents any ammunition out there. And he wanted Russell to kind of come, earn his work, go about it quietly. And Russell Wilson he's had a good camp.
How has that landed on Russ? Because that does inform the entire Broncos season, in my mind. How is he taking this coaching from Sean Payton, Seth?
Well, right. So far, he's taking it great. Now, if the season gets off to a bad start and if they're losing and it's November and Russ is a key reason why, will Payton make a change? I think that's, a fair thing to contemplate. But a lot of this stuff didn't make it into the story, but I watched a lot of film of training camp practice with Sean Payton the week that they were practicing against the Rams. And we would watch offensive snaps where Wilson would throw the ball to receivers who were open and the ball would sail over their head. And if I didn't know better, I would have thought Wilson was just being inaccurate, when in fact, Wilson was throwing the ball exactly to where it was supposed to be thrown and the receivers weren't where they were supposed to be. So much of this stuff is predicated on trust and timing and reps. And it was a reminder for me that as much as we want to be able to diagnose football in the moment, you can't do it for most of the plays unless you know intent. Because if you were just watching those, you would just think that Russ was just completely inaccurate and was missing guys, when in fact he was throwing the ball to where they were supposed to go, and the receivers weren't running the version of the route correctly.
What's your sense on the Broncos buttoning that up in time to take on the Raiders Sunday,
in
Seth?
time?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's injuries as well. There's a lot going on that we obviously knew that happened last year. That it's go time now, right? This conversation is over. It's now time to see the results.
It is go time. And, when I was with Sean Payton, his wife, Skylene, she was like, hey, you never talk to me about your day. And Sean was like, well, it's just training camp. But yeah, it isn't just training camp. And in fact, he knows that when you come in with the presence like he's come in on, where you're the program, you're the instrument for change, you're the device that everybody's counting on to change that team from a loser to a winner, it's all on your shoulders, and it's tenuous and fragile. He often talks about how essential it was that when he got to the Saints, they started 3-0, not only because it helped convert the skeptical, but also because it gave everyone confidence. And, the Broncos opened with 2 games at home. Both games should be winnable. And, the pressure is on, and he feels it. He knows that, if they go 0-2, look out, because it could be an ugly, ugly, ugly time in that building.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.